people who represent the area, both at local government and federal government level. Of course, David Gillespie, well known as local federal MP, and of course, Councillor Peta Winney-Baartz, wanted to get it all correct, is a local councillor here in Newcastle. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Great
lovely to see you. This part of the world, it is spectacular to see, but it's also fairly diverse, right? Like we all know,
It
there
sure
are
is.
the places that you dream of being able to buy, and there are the tougher parts of town, right? In terms of your job of trying to represent it in the federal parliament, how do you make sure that the average citizen gets represented the same way, say, big industry would be represented? Because most people in Canberra would generally only think of the industry, right?
Well, you keep in touch with your base. I visit here regularly. I've got some of the most beautiful parts of New South Wales. What other places got beaches, whales, vineyards, golf, concert venues, big city. It's the engine room of the state. All the lights would go out and all the trains would stop.
Yep.
Everything else would stop if it wasn't for the hunter.
Correct, 100%.
And look, there's history here.
They're with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. We've got some of the best whale watching, only a sort of close second to Port Macquarie, which is the other end of my electorate.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's all, you get the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, no, I've got a beautiful part of the world. The thing about Newcastle is there's people who know how to put the nuts and bolts of life and the machinery of an economy together. It's produced the steel for decades. It was sad when the steelworks go. We've still got aluminium, and we hope that it stays here forever, and lots of other heavy industry in this area. But you've got beautiful beaches, you know, Port Stephens, Nelson Bay, Hawke's Nest, up to the Great Lakes. You can drive over. What places can you be at the beach, watching whales, go to a vineyard, play golf on top-notch courses, ride bikes across the Hunter Flats, and see all this colonial history all in one place. You've got a beautiful Indigenous heritage in this place, and it's just, it's got everything. And this is going to be an international airport soon, so all those people from Asia and the West Coast will be able to come.
Well, because it's that thing where, Peter, that, I mean, in the time of visiting Newcastle, and I visited it for a whole bunch of reasons over a long period of time, right, seen it change. That area right down that sort of Honeysuckle, all of that area, pretty fancy now, to be honest. Like it's right up there with anywhere that you could go for top-notch food, accommodation, all the rest of it, right? How Newcastle represents itself and how it sells itself to not just the rest of its region, but how it represents the rest of the state. There is everything here if you wanted to, right? You can go 100% footy and go-karts if you want to, but if you also want to do sort of, you know, wine and cheeses, that's all great, and you can fill a weekend there too.
And I think that's something we're really priding ourselves on. We don't just look at Newcastle in its as a silo, we do really look at as a region. There is a gateway everywhere to everywhere else. You know, we have an international airport. We have a deep water port that's now diversifying as well. You know, we have jobs, we have the visitor economy. I think, you know, in years gone by, it would have been a place where people perhaps finished school and went on to uni and thought about where else they're going to go. I know my children, who are, you know, 24 down to 12, they're not going anywhere. They're all staying here in Newcastle.
Awesome.
They know.
That is awesome. So tell us about, if you could have that blank checkbook, maybe not just about money, but just about, say, attention, right? Like if you could just have a week of the government's full focus, what does this joint need?
Oh, look, it'd be great to have a high-speed rail network coming out of here. I think it's just more investment in the energy. As you know, our side of Parliament wants to keep gas and coal going, and this would be a great centre for the nuclear industry as well. Because Australia, the economy, the industrial world runs on electrons, and we need heaps of them. The digital world runs on electricity. Everything runs on electricity, and the Hunter has been the centre of that for New South Wales. Sure, we're adding other forms of energy with renewables, but it wouldn't be working tonight if we were relying on windmills or solar panels. So,
Good point. So, Peter, again, If you could get the Premier to just that 1 week total focus, what does this place need?
I think it's key for us, the housing is an issue. Whether it's density as well as a diversity of housing. I think, I've been lucky enough to work and come in contact with lots of organisations in my time at council, and it is something that stretches right across the breadth of everything we do. We're seeing more development in the city of Newcastle, absolutely. Our housing targets well reached and now, almost doubled. But the gap between the have and have not is quite, for me, I'm involved with another organisation called Hunter Homeless Connect. Very, very soon we're having Hunter Homeless Connect Day, which is a very unique event that is run at the Entertainment Centre for people experiencing homelessness or at risk of experiencing homelessness. And what I see every year is numbers of attendees growing.
And both of you are very, very active on socials. That's the way people can get in touch with you, or online, or all the rest of it. Lots of millions of ways to get in touch, but give them a round of applause. They fight for you every day. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much, David.